Hey guys, tonight we're diving into a tale that's as old as time and probably twice as tangled. You're wrapped up in your favorite cozy blanket. Maybe a sleepy cat is curled at your feet, and the soft murmur of a fan is in the background. The perfect setting for a bedtime story. We're talking about why being too pretty was actually a dangerous game to play in medieval times. Sounds like a fairy tale gone wrong, right? But honestly, you probably won't survive this without a chuckle or two. Before you get too comfy, feel free to tap like or subscribe, but only if you're genuinely enjoying the calm around here. Tell me where you're listening from and what time it is over there. I love seeing how far this sleepy little journey reaches. Now, go ahead and lower the lights. Maybe let a fan hum in the background, and let's drift gently into tonight's story together. You wake up on a rather chilly morning in a medieval village, the kind of morning where you'd rather stay cocooned in blankets that smell like a forgotten meadow. But alas, the day beckons with its various oddities. As you shuffle outside, maybe to feed the chickens or check on your hilariously sleepy donkey, you notice the world is painted in earthy shades of resilience and mystery. And there, standing out like a candle in a storm, is the fairest maiden you've ever seen. Here's the kicker. Her radiant beauty isn't just the talk of the town, it's downright dangerous. In medieval times, beauty wasn't just about having the perfect winged eyeliner, which they definitely didn't have, or a million followers on TikTok. It was a double-edged sword. Being excessively lovely could lead to unwanted attention, or, on the flip side, some holy folk might just throw you the suspicious side eye, suspecting witchcraft or some sorcery. Picture this. You're walking down the packed dirt path, and someone hisses witch under their breath just because of your naturally luscious locks. Stressful, right? Historians still argue whether people truly believed beauty was a sign of divine favor, or if they were just envious of softer features, human nature at its grumpiest. In any case, a beautiful woman often found herself entangled in dilemmas, like a lost sock in the laundry, trying to keep a low profile. You can imagine her sneaking glances at herself in the only available reflective surface, a puddle, and wondering if her looks were a blessing or an impending peril. Interestingly enough, some so-called remedies for being too beautiful bordered on the bizarre. Medieval folks dabbled in all kinds of strange beauty practices, some of which might make your Sunday self-care routine look like a scene from a sci-fi film. Ever fancied a facial made from snail slime and powdered herbs? That's child's play compared to what they tried. Now, imagine for a moment that beauty in the medieval era had its regulations, so to speak. There were no printed emails from the local monarchy saying, "Thou shalt not wear red lipstick." But the social mores were clear enough. If you happen to showcase your radiance a little too boldly, get ready for a lifetime subscription to Judgment and Gossip magazines, circa 1300 AD. It's like setting your phone to dark mode because it feels emotionally accurate, trying not to shine too brightly in gatherings where others might not have the same bright pixels. The village's unsolicited advisors would jump to interpret your visible charms as tantalizing evidence of unnatural forces at play. That's right. People were more than ready to label you a dark sorceress than give you props for good genes or an exceptional cheekbone game. And while scholars still tussle over whether medieval beauty standards were as cutthroat as a reality TV show, tonight we explore the whimsical side of human history where being too pretty could put you in quite the pickle. So, as dust settles on the cobblestones of our tale, remember this. Beauty always comes with its price. But let's hope it's never something as outlandish as an unfriendly encounter with the superstition's primetime committee. As you tuck this thought away, perhaps the night grows quieter and the warmth of sleep tugs at you, drawing you into dreams less entangled with the complicated web of yore. Until next time, let these medieval musings rest beside you, assuring you that history, ancient and amusingly strange, will keep you company in your slumbers. As morning light filters through the wooden shutters, painting dappled rays across your face, you find yourself in a small, bustling medieval town, where you can almost hear the hum of daily life beginning to stir. The air is crisp and carries with it the scent of fresh bread baking, a sure sign that someone, somewhere, in a quaint stone house is making breakfast. The townspeople are already up and about, attending to their chores. But for one particular lady, her morning is about navigating the minefield of being too blessed in the looks department. Imagine waking up every day to a life where your reflection in the basin's water is both a shield and a sword, depending on who's looking. You throw on a cloak to ward off the chill, and perhaps a hood to keep the catty gaze of envious villagers at bay. It's not like you can send a meme to express that sarcastic, "Here we go again," towards prying eyes. No, this is centuries before such technology, but the sentiment is timeless. In these times, being lovely was akin to walking a tightrope between admiration and suspicion. One real historical fact you might find amusing is that some believed beauty could bring about natural disasters. Yes, some genuinely thought a pretty face might cause the very skies to thunder with rage. Welcome to a world where a compliment could lead to societal chaos rather than a boost in your Instagram likes. And if this culture of criticism sounds a little too familiar, it might just remind you of the modern day's online comment section, which can feel like it's packed with knights up in arms over a misplaced comma. Historians still argue whether this paranoia was more a product of misunderstanding or pure jealousy. But one thing's clear: being too pretty was serious business. The fair maidens of the medieval age had to be as quick with their wits as they were with their looks. A single misstep in how they carried themselves, or, heaven forbid, an error in attire, and they could end up the talk of the town, though not in a flattering way. It was almost like carrying a real-time reputation score, without the digital device to check just how well you ranked among the village's elite social influencers. Now, here's where it gets quirky. The town's herbalist, who is probably a friend of your family's, might tell you to chew on preserved apples or apply an odd concoction to tone down those rosy cheeks when stepping out for a gathering. This is true. Such was the peculiar advice given to avoid standing out. You'd almost think it was written by a medieval Emily Post. As you stroll down the winding lane, soaking in the muted colors of the thatched roofs and cobblestones that twist beneath your feet, you can't help but chuckle softly at the absurdity of it all. To think that looking too lovely could bring about such a maelstrom of reactions, from accusations of devilry to unwanted marriage proposals. And yet, for many, this was the reality. Like an endless game of dodgeball, where the balls are made of public opinion, one has to ask, what was at the root of this apprehensive dance between beauty and notoriety? Did it all stem from fear of the unknown, wrapped in a guise of societal norms? Or was it purely an age-old struggle with envy? Historians have yet to nail down a single definitive answer. Perhaps because human nature is no simpler to decode than deciphering the scrawled musings of a medieval monk. With each step, you take on this imaginary cobblestone road. The air seems to carry whispers of stories untold, tales of women who navigated their world with the grace of a dancer dipped in layers of lace and trepidation, hidden behind veils. Not only those of fabric, but also of necessity. And somewhere in that winding tale lies the truth about beauty's double-edged allure. As your imagined medieval journey wraps up for now, maybe you feel an almost familiar tug of modern parallels in your day-to-day life. But unlike those days of yore, today you can simply switch off the volley of attention. Close the lid on that barrage like shutting off an ancient scroll, bringing a gentle pause to your musings. And just like that, all's quiet once more, as you absorb the warmth of a comforting world where courage and cunning prevailed just as much as charm, peeling back the layers of history one drowsy tale at a time. The morning sun continues its lazy stroll across the sky, casting longer shadows as the village begins to buzz with activity like a beehive that's just been nudged. You're still wandering around, soaking up the sights and sounds, catching snippets of chatter, perhaps even overhearing a particularly excited exchange between two villagers about yesterday's buzz at the market. The kind of gossip that's tasty, but a little hard to swallow whole. And of course, at the heart of this juicy tidbit, there's talk of a gal who, according to them, might have been a bit too radioactively radiant for her own good. Now, let's say you're this girl, just trying to get by without setting off more drama than a reality TV showdown. You've got that village herbalist whispering about how some folks think your beauty might draw disaster. Though let's be real, they probably didn't understand meteorology, so they equated a stormy sky to your striking eyes instead. It's more than a bit amusing in its ignorance, like when your phone dies at 2% because binge scrolling reels suddenly seems like a high-stakes challenge. Despite a few historical bumps, you keep meandering through the cobblestone paths, your collections of tiny trinkets jingling softly from the fabric pouch at your waist. Perhaps little charms or anise seeds meant to ward off what could only be described as medieval bad vibes. These are your defenses in a game not too unlike surviving awkward small talk without the sweet salvation of AirPods. In this world, beauty was power cloaked in mystery, demanding the grace of a medieval diplomat and the caution of a tightrope walker. Did they ever get the memo that a stray curl peeking from under a hood wasn't an open call for chaos? Historians still trudge through dusty tomes to resolve whether these notions of beauty as danger were propagated by those in power, or if they spurred up from ages-old folk tales veiled in half-sung lullabies. Quirk alert. There are stories of women applying earth-toned clays, earthy hues to deflect the lightning gaze that might otherwise chance upon them, quite literally throwing dirt on their appeal, figuratively chuckling at the irony that such a tactic might just as easily apply to dodging overbearing influencer comments today. You know, like when you edit a photo to dim the brightness before sharing, just to keep things, let's say, authentically understated. There's a kind of quiet rebellion to it. These women molded themselves not from shame of what they were, but in crafty defiance of what they were perceived to be. Imagine the sly satisfaction, like replying LOL without even a trace of a chuckle. Or maybe going incognito just to zen out those messages pinging from the fringes of a distracted life. And in the hush of this narrative rewind, where beauty's peril dances amidst shadows of laughter and lampblack, you ponder one last twist before today's chapter draws tenderly to a close. Was this dance of beauty and danger a mechanism to keep pretty faces subdued and compliant? Or was it merely human folly manifesting in history's dim light? As the day winds down, and with it the stories that flit like sparrows in the loftiness of your mind, you can almost feel the tales weaving through you, settling like specks of dust caught in the evening sun. In this crib of curiosity, know that the gentle hum of history, with its timeless wonder and bemusing peculiarities, is always there to cradle you. Until then, let these musings be the lullaby that trails into your dreams, where beauty finds its universal song once more. As the evening sky drapes itself in a quiet tapestry of indigo hues, the village slowly begins to wind down. Chimneys puff tendrils of smoke into the cooling air, and the sound of laundry being brought in before nightfall creates a soft, comforting rhythm. You continue your stroll, wrapped in a cloak that has seen its fair share of seasons, much like the stories whispered by the stones beneath your feet. Let's wander back to the tightening coil of this narrative, where beauty was both an accolade and an affliction. Envision yourself slipping quietly past a group of villagers engrossed in a debate about what exactly transformed fair looks from ethereal to eerie. Conversations echoing with the same energy that fuels today's social media rants, or the occasional heated comment section that implores, did they source their facts from the Twilight Zone? Imagine the moral hand-wringing. Do you tone down your brightest self to heed such chatter, like toggling between accounts to quietly see what's trending without leaving a trail? Or do you walk that razor's edge, unveiling beauty amidst whispers that weave through the seams of society, like smoke through the forgotten chimney cracks? Historians still ponder whether all of this fear and fascination was a concoction of the power dynamics in play, or simply a misinterpretation of the delightful complexity that was a human face. Each feature a small rebellion against the gray mundanity of daily life. Who knows? Perhaps beauty held an allure precisely because it was mysterious, poised somewhere between a gift and a curse. One quirky tidbit that tickles the imagination is the idea that some folks believed a strikingly beautiful person might carry a touch of the divine or the demonic. It's like when your friend finds that playlist that just hits, almost too perfectly crafted by Spotify algorithms, and suddenly everyone's convinced they have a hotline to the muses. Picture a fair maiden heading to a village feast, where candles flicker like distant secret stars, and a gossamer shawl does little to dim the brilliance of her visage. Sure, she could recite a poem or conjure up a witty tale to overshadow her looks, but let's face it, in a room ready to embrace beauty's spectacle, her presence alone would spin new yarns for days. And here lies the kicker. Our medieval beauty had a complex choreography to master. One wrong step, and the stage might just collapse under the weight of speculation and serendipity. It's akin to deciding whether to reply with a half-hearted "see you soon" in a thread of DMs, knowing well and good it was just a mild overstatement. But the audience, for all her dainty maneuvering, wasn't merely the collective village gaze. It was every dreaming mind tucked into beds of straw-stuffed warmth, sharing tales of beauty interwoven with awe and apprehension. Did these stories serve as cautionary ballads or thrilling adventure books for the sleeping masses? Historians might find the answer elusive, like trying to capture the ephemeral allure of moonlight with a butterfly net. As twilight presses gently on the edges of your senses, urging a return to the present, you can almost hear the serenade of crickets each chirp a tiny question in the ear of the universe, perhaps whispering truths of age-old beauty's enigma. And so, as this rich tapestry of thoughts folds into the darkness, let your imagination rest softly on the pillow of introspection, where the murmur of history lulls you closer to sleep. Here, where modern life briefly breathes life into the echoes of the past, may you find sweet repose till the next tale beckons with its mysterious allure. The night deepens, wrapping the world in a velvety blanket speckled with stars that wink like dust in a beam of moonlight. You find a cozy spot by the window, where the outside world becomes a shadowy whisper, and inside, the glow of a candle flickers as if it too is listening, eager for more. It's the perfect setting to delve deeper into the charming yet treacherous web woven by beauty in medieval times. Picture yourself in a snug old chair, with creaky wooden arms that groan quietly as you settle in. The kind you might find in a corner of your grandmother's attic. Imagine listening to tales of yore, of people who wore more than their robes and armor. They wore legends spun around their beauty, like an influencer wrapped up in their careful curation of an online persona. So, why exactly was being too pretty perceived as dangerous, you wonder? Cradling a mug of tea that's cooling faster than seems fair. Perhaps it lay in the stories told around hearths, where faces basked in the warmth of flickering flames. And in these stories, being deemed beautiful could either crown you with admiration or plunge you into the depths of suspicion. It's like trying to tread lightly around trending topics without igniting the fury of an entire digital platform. Historians still find themselves wrestling with the idea of whether these perceptions were simply superstitions inflamed by human imagination or genuine beliefs rooted in cultural norms. Did people truly see beauty as something to be wary of? Or was it just the human failure to comprehend anything beyond the ordinary? In the small circles of medieval life, beauty was often thought of as a flash of brilliance in an otherwise muted world. A beacon that, while captivating, could draw the wrong kind of attention. It's the same curiosity we find today, scrolling late into the night, eyes bleary, chasing a sense of connection over Wi-Fi signals humming softly in the dark. Here's a quirky side note for you. It was believed that some exceptionally beautiful women might possess not just otherworldly allure, but also a touch of the arcane. You can imagine a medieval village casting furtive glances at the stunning woman who just walked by, whispering about whether she's been blessed by a fae or merely keeps an unusually green thumb with magical herbs, and whether they should politely ask her for her apple pie recipe or keep a safe distance. In the gentle flow of this narrative, you can't help but let out a soft chuckle at the thought that, had social media existed back then, hashtags like "she too pretty for my own good" might have trended effortlessly. Those faces would have launched 1,000 likes, and yet there would have been cautionary DMs buzzing with, "Watch out, some say she's a siren." Imagine the delicate balance of maintaining your grace while dodging all those virtual pitchforks. That's a skill set worthy of being passed down like a cherished family heirloom, isn't it? As the night continues its soothing descent, shrouding the world in deeper shades of silence, you find yourself drifting, gently cocooned by the fabric of this saga. It's a reminder that history, with all its quirks and questions, remains close, a quiet hum in the tapestry of twilight. Let this tale settle in your mind like sweet snowfall, whispering ever so softly of beauty's age-old dance, a lullaby for the restless night. Until the next page turns in your dreams, May you find peace here, in the spaces between what once was and what now is. As the moon bathes the village in a pale, silvery glow, the warmth from your half-empty mug of tea slowly seeps into your bones, coaxing a comfortable drowsiness to settle in. Outside, the world is quiet, save for the occasional hoot of an owl, nature's very own bedtime storyteller. In this timeless stillness, the tale we weave continues, like an endless tapestry unfurling across the ages. Your thoughts drift back to the subject at hand, those beguiling figures of medieval lore whose beauty turned heads, and often heads turned into speculation or, at times, apprehension. It's a delicate dance to be so admired and yet so scrutinized, a bit like walking into a room and feeling all eyes upon you, only to realize spaghetti sauce is splattered across your sweater. Popularity's double-edged sword indeed. We return to the medieval heartbeat of our story. Picture yourself in a bustling market square where vendors call out their wares, fruits and fabrics, livestock and lace. Amidst this tapestry of human life, there's chatter of a fair maiden who has just entered town, her presence like a whisper of spring amidst the autumn leaves. You can almost hear the buzzing curiosity as she passes, villagers turning to watch, their expressions a blend of admiration, envy, and a sprinkle of suspicion. How does such beauty coexist with such complexity, you wonder, trailing behind her in the maze of stalls and stories? Is her charm truly the harbinger of unforeseen mischief, or just the village's preference for drama over dullness? There's an entertaining, yet baffling anecdote from the period. Some believed a beautiful woman might steal a man's very soul, her allure more binding than any vow spoken before altar or hearth. It's akin to modern-day love at first sight, equal parts myth and mesmerizing allure, where rationality goes right out the window, like every resolution in a fridge stocked full of snacks after midnight. Historians still debate over whether beauty led to a power struggle between perception and reality, myth and mundane. Did society struggle with assigning power to faces adored by all? Or did these tales serve as just another facet of the elaborate social mosaic? Imagine how one might have employed cleverness to sidestep looming peril, perhaps softening their features with soot or wearing thicker veils, an invisibility cloak of sorts, for those who wished only to pass unnoticed under the radar of relentless scrutiny. And here's where the giggle-worthy twist comes in. During festivities, these same women could find themselves bombarded with more attention than even the reigning monarch, much to their chagrin. Because honestly, who doesn't love a surprise spotlight when you're just there for the free wine and good company? As we float deeper into the heart of the night, accompanied by the gentle sighs of the slumbering world outside, a cozy peace wraps around you. You think about how perceptions of beauty have evolved into today's digital dance, where a perfectly curated profile flickers like a candle among the pixelated throng, much like our medieval heroines once did in the more tangible throng of their time. May the quiet simplicity of these reflections ease the day's worries, like rain softens the ground, preparing it for morning blooms. Rest embraces you in its gentle arms, like a quilt stitched together with the songs of yesteryears. And as you drift further into sleep's gentle embrace, remember that tales, whether past or present, wrap us all in warmth, threading dreams with the harmonious lullaby of history. Good night, and may your dreams be as enchanting and timeless as the stories we've shared. As the world outside slips deeper into stillness, wrapped in the gentle embrace of night, you find yourself deeper still in this medieval saga, a tapestry unfurling in the quiet of your mind. The village slumbers, its stone walls breathing softly under the watchful gaze of the moon, while the stories whispered by its people linger in the cool air, a mix of fables, fears, and fleeting truths. In this serene landscape, you meander back to thoughts of how beauty was seen and perceived through the eyes of those who lived centuries ago. You can almost feel the cobblestones beneath your feet, each step echoing with tales untold. It's almost as if you're strolling through a version of your favorite blog feed, where instead of typed comments, whispers float from shadowed doorways, weaving tangible threads of intrigue in the air. How intriguing, you muse, that a simple glance could stir suspicion or set the heart alight. The line between admiration and awe, between envy and fear, was certainly as thin as a spider's web, delicate and oh so easily torn. Imagine the lives led cautiously, where a soft smile or a lingering gaze might be misread, leading to conclusions as wildly unpredictable as medieval hairstyles during a particularly breezy market day. And if you think that's wild, consider this quirky side note. Some believed a stunning woman might just have potions tucked away, not in a digital photo editing app, but in brocade pouches at her hip. These concoctions supposedly enhanced allure or bestowed an ethereal glow, much like those trendy skin serums lining bathroom shelves today, promising everything from dewiness to divine perfection. Historians still quarrel over whether such beliefs in the supernatural roles of beauty were merely the result of an impressive collective imagination or rooted in something more concrete, perhaps power dynamics, societal storytelling, or simply the human penchant for embellishing the mundane. Picture medieval villagers gathered around robust oak tables, sipping on that ye olde ale, discussing the fairest lady in the land like they're dissecting the latest cliffhanger from their favorite medieval saga. Each tale plucked at the edges of what was real, embroidered with threads of fantasy, until it was hard to distinguish where truth ended and fiction began. And as this story wanders into whimsical territory, imagine the hustle at medieval taverns as actual attempts to cultivate beauty brimmed over with comedic endeavors. Playing it cool while the village watch pondered their next move was just part of the game. In today's terms, it's like handling your front-facing camera at just the right angle during a meeting on Zoom, hoping that, amidst fluctuating Wi-Fi, everyone catches your good side. Tonight, as your thoughts drift like sleepy clouds through a starlit sky, you savor these tales spun from history's forgotten corners. Through them, you glimpse the allure and jeopardy of beauty's potent spell, a reminder of that delicate dance between the peril and promise of simple human perception. In this cozy cocoon of narrative exploration, perhaps you find a certain solace. We have wound through time's sleepy corridors, discovering that the threads binding us to our past are more humorously whimsical and delightfully entangled than we sometimes imagine. Rest here in this fleeting harmony, where dreams unfurl in tandem with the hush of midnight promises whispered softly in the dark. Sleep well, dear listener, until the story calls again. The hours tick by gently, the kind of hours that emanate an irresistible quietude, inviting you to unravel the cozy braids of history's delicate tales. The village rests, murmuring softly as dreams find their way across thatched rooftops and into the minds of its sleeping denizens. Here, within the embrace of night, our journey through the chapters of medieval tales of beauty's complex allure continues, as soothing as a lullaby. Picture the scene: a medieval widow's fair visage framed in the warm glow of a hearth's flickering light. Her reflection dances in the polished basin before her, a soft canvas painted by shadows and stories alike. Imagine the rumors that whisper through the rafters, each word a step carefully chosen in this delicate minuet, where beauty dances with peril. But even amidst the rustling hush, a gossamer thread of humor weaves through history's embroideries. Imagine a gaggle of villagers, each more eager than the last to share their amusing takes on how beauty and danger are forever intertwined. Maybe they jest that a lovely face could cause crops to wither, or cows to sullenly produce sour milk. Surely, in a time without memes, these light-hearted jabs served as the medieval version of replying LOL without the accompanying chuckle, a social lubricant in a world where human emotions flushed as easily as cheeks kissed by the winter cold. Historians still linger in debate over whether beauty's storied reach was fueled solely by fear of the unknown, or if it was the climb of a deeper, unspoken understanding. Like an overstuffed email inbox begging for a good spring cleaning, interpretations remain cheekily varied, some grounded in superstition, others fluttering in the vibrant winds of folklore. Here's a quirky tidbit to tickle your fancy. Stories speak of lovely maidens smearing poultices of peculiar herbs upon their faces, an aromatic remedy believed to dull beauty's shine against unwanted eyes, much like switching your profile to private just to keep those unwelcome friend requests at bay. But even in the fabric of such peculiar practices, threads of modern resonance peek through. Isn't there a parallel in our own lives, barely perceptible, yet undeniably present, whenever appearance meets expectation? We toggle status and picture filters, negotiate the terrain of bio descriptions with fingertips tapping glass screens, shaping perceptions like those who weaved narratives around hearth fires centuries before. You can imagine them now, gathered in the inn's gentle glow as twilight recedes into deeper velvet, a community grounded against the world's unpredictability, their conversations weaving the safety net of shared stories. What incantations of humanity do we cradle in our own palms today? Perhaps more similar to what unfurled in that medieval chamber than we might dare to believe. As the night wraps tighter around the village, in a silken embrace shaped by shadow and moonlight, you can feel the gentle tug toward slumber. Let this shared journey weave itself into the quiet tapestry of your dreams, where the delicate dance of beauty and peril finds its soothing harmonies. Until we meet again amid history's hushed whispers, may your slumbers be filled with the tender lilt of bygone tales, timeless and softly spun beneath starlit veils. As the gentle embrace of night deepens, the lingering warmth of imagination cradles you, threading the whimsical tales of yesteryear with the quiet hum of the present. The village lies wrapped in a slumbering spell. Every corner, every archway, a repository of secrets told only under the moon's gaze. The tales of beauty we continue to unravel tonight are like whispers of soft lullabies that stretch across both time and the edge of sleep. Envision yourself once more wandering those cobblestone paths, swathed in the delicate night air, where the tales of fair maidens, much like the stars above, flicker with a mixture of allure and mystery. These were times when the melodious lilt of a lute might drift through an open window, and even the slightest smile could could become the catalyst for larger-than-life legends. Imagine a young woman in the quiet of her chamber, smoothing back her hair as she regards her reflection in a simple mirror, the kind that catches candlelight and dreams alike. Out there, beyond those stone walls, perceptions of her beauty ripple through the village like a stone cast into still waters, each wave carrying with it a new twist to her tale. In a world where quarrels over beauty's power are still echoed by debates over selfie aesthetics, historians find themselves on the precipice, wondering if such fear-fueled admiration was ever justified, or perhaps merely a convenient explanation for life's inexplicable happenings. Like an unanswered email hanging in the digital void, the truth remains elusive. And then there's the oddity of medieval beauty rituals, many now seen as peculiar folklore, yet some elements are familiar nods to modern vanity's whims. Here's something for you, a quirky anecdote from the times. There were accounts that suggest using honey as an anti-aging mask. Now, before you laugh off the sticky notion, think about your own collection of face masks in your bathroom, each promising to bottle up youth like a firefly caught on a summer night. For those living through history's delicate dance of appearances, such beauty regimes, however whimsical, were tokens in the silent barter with fate, a way to negotiate a space among the social tiers defined by both looks and lore. Here, community could become court, the village square, a stage for any drama yet to unfold. Imagine managing followers through the careful cadence of whispers repeated from market stalls to the church pews, not unlike crafting the perfect post to capture that social media magic without stepping into controversy's spotlight. As you wander back through the dreamy realm where medieval beauty's charms were seen both as blessings and burdens, the night gently guides your journey into a softer state, where stories sway like dappled shadows under leafy canopies. Such is the tapestry of existence. We are woven into narratives both ancient and unfolding, listening to the music as it plays not just in our ears, but resonating deep within our souls. The whir of the quiet world lulls you deeper into that slumbered state, each beat of time an echo of the tales we have shared, tempering your dreams with the richness of lives once lived. Gently now, allow the serene weight of history's embrace to carry you, until dawn's gentle fingers touch the sky. And these stories we've meandered through ease softly into morning's light. Rest easy, dear traveler of tales, until the whispers of another night beckon. Sleep well, in the comfort of time's gentle weave. As the hours twirl elegantly into the deeper shades of night, the world outside is a quilt of quiet and calm. You find yourself nestled in an imagined medieval chamber, the kind where the sturdy wooden beams overhead seem to hum gently with the essence of lives once lived and long-forgotten secrets. Tonight, those very beams echo the story of beauty's beguiling and treacherous dance in times when the world was both nascent and nebulously enchanted. You imagine slipping through the stillness of a medieval forest, the cool air brushing against your skin like delicate tendrils of mist. Ahead, the faint glimmer of a cottage comes into view, its windows glowing with the promise of warmth and perhaps a tale or two. It's a place where old stories find sanctuary, shared around the glow of a hearth with a cozy nostalgia reminiscent of the comforting scroll through old photo albums. In this cottage, tales of breathtaking beauty are whispered like incantations, spinning visions of men and women whose allure was a double-edged sword. In the flickering dance of candlelight, you can imagine villagers weaving stories across the wooden beams, their words strung like fairy lights, illuminating life's complexities. Imagine a shy maiden stepping through the doorway, her beauty cloaked beneath a veil of humility, a nod to the cautious game played with the times. How heavy can the weight of beauty lie when adorned with whispers of witchery or strands of superstition? It's like stepping into a room and feeling the invisible tug of all eyes, aware of admiration intertwined with intrigue, like a storyline that you didn't quite sign up for. Historians still wonder if these tales shrouded in mysticism and marvel were born purely from fear, or perhaps they flowed from a river of human imagination, eager to ascribe a magical quality to the unexplained, much like seeing constellations in the night sky, or imagining faces in the clouds. With each retelling, these stories grew richer, embroidered with details as vivid as a medieval tapestry, until history resonated with the vibrant tension between beauty, peril, and praise. There's a quirky note to this tapestry. Believe it or not, some beauty remedies involved using rather exotic ingredients, luxuries such as ground pearls and powdered roots, concocted into face masks that promise to enhance their ethereal charm, almost like our modern obsession with organic, all-natural skincare that sometimes involves ingredients as eyebrow-raising as snail mucin or volcanic ash. You can picture the comedic calamity of a young woman sneaking into the village, hoping her freshly powdered face doesn't draw too much attention, ushering in wagging tongues and wistful eyes. It's a lived reminder of those toe-curling moments where one's web of acquaintance weaves too tight and a simple stroll becomes a spectacle. Yet beneath this playful vignette lies a subtly poignant thread, that in a world governed by strict societal norms, the heart's capacity to appreciate beauty was unabashedly genuine, despite the layers of rumor it was swaddled in. We're drawn to that elusive allure, the same way we might find ourselves standing by an ocean tide, caught in the waves of its infinite embrace. It's complicated, but conversely calming, surrendering now to the deep comfort of these ageless revelations. You allow these tales to weave their gentle embrace, a lullaby of lessons murmured softly by history's rhythmic breath. May the night cradle you in its tender arms, rocking you alongside the familiar tune of such beautiful stories. And when dawn peeks through, may you greet it with a smile, remembering the harmonious dance of time and tale. Until next, the night finds us gathering around its welcoming hearth. Sleep sweetly and dream amid those halcyon echoes of human artistry. As the night deepens, cradling the village in its velvety embrace, the tales of medieval beauty continue to softly wind through your thoughts, like a gentle brook, carrying echoes of ancient whispers. Your mind finds a sanctuary in this timeless space, where imaginations are the flickering candles guiding you through the corridors of history. A comforting journey amidst the quietude of a sleeping world. Imagine the medieval village now, resting in the deep, tranquil arms of darkness. The moon, a silvery sentinel, casts its ethereal glow across cobblestone paths and silent rooftops, creating a landscape reminiscent of an old, cherished painting. In this hushed nightscape, the stories linger like an aftertaste of sweet nostalgia. You slip back into the tale of a young woman whose beauty was as much a gift as it was a weight. She navigates her days like walking a fine line, every step a careful choreography to avoid stepping into the trap of society's conflicting gazes, admired and yet feared. It's not unlike one of those days when you're hyper-aware of your every move, whether it's balancing multiple coffee cups while opening doors or juggling notifications like a circus performer in a digital world. The villagers, with all their simple curiosities and intricate suspicions, might wonder at the grace with which she moves through their lives. A captivating presence surrounded by an invisible sphere of myth and mystery. These stories become the village's own cinematic universe, filled with characters whose beauty could command the attention of storytellers for generations. Historians puzzled at how these tales transcended their origins, blossoming into legends that spoke to the heart of human experiences, where admiration mingled with apprehension in a delicate dance, like light caught in a crystal pane. And here's a delightful quirk. Some believed that a remedy for being too beautiful, imagine that, involved a concoction that would dull one's shine, not with the dimming hue of humility, but with the earthy magic of herbal smudges and tinctured wood smoke. It's a medieval spin on that humble brag post, toned down before it gets too noticed in today's digital scroll, where subtlety is often more impactful than grandeur. In the warm glow of the cottage, amidst mugs of warm, spiced ale and the comforting hum of shared laughter, perhaps these tales embarked on their own travels, carried upon winds that would transcend place and time. The villagers would share moments of mirth, threading stories of beauty's beguiling spell into the very fabric of their communal lives. As you meander through this tapestry, each thread woven with humor and heartfelt echoes, the night invites you further into its calm embrace. Maybe you find comfort in the connections of these stories, the way they reflect the modern dance of beauty and perception, like an ancestral guide through the social intricacies we navigate today. When the whispers of these ancient tales finally settle into the quiet of night, let them guide your dreams with the soft assurance that beauty, with all its complexities, is a language spoken universally across time. Nestled in this moment of peace, resting comfortably in history's gentle embrace, may you dream deeply and awaken to a world warmed by its own sense of wonder. Until the next star-studded night beckons us to journey once again, let the quiet music of history sing you into serene slumber. As the stars twinkle overhead like a scattered collection of diamonds across an ink-dark sky, you drift further into the soothing embrace of night, where time feels slow and gentle, like a languid river carrying old stories. In this suspended moment, let's wander once more through the tendrils of medieval tales, where beauty's paradoxical power flickers like candlelight upon stone walls. Picture the medieval village, hushed and dreamy, where every cobblestone and thatched roof harbors silent stories, each one more fantastical than the last. It's a place where the line between myth and reality blurs, much like the hazy line between asleep and awake that you dance upon as dreams tease the edges of your consciousness. Tonight, you follow the winding path back to the life of a fair maiden, whose allure is as captivating as it is complicated. Her gaze is enough to leave a trail of whispered speculations, a tapestry of tales woven by those who admire from afar and those who murmur cautionary tales. Imagine feeling the weight of those eyes, sometimes curious, sometimes judgmental, like wandering through a maze of societal expectations and perceived enchantments. There is a kind of enchanted resilience in living such a life, akin to holding an umbrella against a drizzle of judgments, a task not unlike curating an online persona, where each post or picture is a step in an endless dance to balance appeal and authenticity. Historians still puzzle over how these observations and opinions coalesced into the systems that shaped identity and autonomy. Here's an intriguing aside for you. Some believed that beauty could be tempered with simple charms or protective symbols, a whisper of magic to shield oneself from the unwelcome attention that beauty often brought. Today, you might compare it to the modern armor of a strongly worded email or a perfectly crafted tweet that shields and protects one's peace from the digital storm. As the candles burn low, surrendering the room to the soft shadows of night, our contemplations wander to those gatherings where tales shared over fireplaces became lessons passed through generations. These gatherings were places where beauty was dissected, debated, and forever entwined with mystery and myth. A narrative not unlike a cozy book club where tales unfold with each turn of the page. In the soft hum of history's lullaby, there's an understanding that emerges. That beauty, in its many forms, has always sparked dialogue, discussion, and divisions. It's the essence of what captivates us, fosters connection, and occasionally feeds rivalry, a complex dance card written in the margins of time. As this chapter draws to a peaceful close, and you feel the gentle weight of sleep pressing in, let these thoughts wrap around you like a cherished blanket, the kind with memories woven into each stitch. The gentle murmur of medieval musings rocks you softly, coaxing you further into dreams where the past and present mingle in harmony. Let the stars' quiet glow watch over you, as history's gentle hand soothes you into sleep's embrace. When morning's light peeks over the horizon, let it find you rested and wrapped in the warmth of stories shared across time's vast tapestry. Sleep deep, and may your dreams carry the soft echoes of all that beauty has inspired, both then and now. As the night wraps the world in its gentle embrace, the quiet continues to cradle you in its soft, soothing hues. Each breath you take is like a sigh of the universe, calm and steady, guiding you deeper into this journey through stories of beauty and wonder. The medieval village rests beneath the sparkling stars, like a beloved secret hidden under the sky's velvet blanket, its tales whispering softly around you. Tonight, imagine wandering into a small medieval chapel, its stone walls cool and sturdy, echoing with the faintest hints of past prayers and candlelit vigils. Even here, within this sacred space, the stories of beauty linger, carried on the very air like delicate incense, a reminder that allure and admiration go hand in hand with curiosity and caution. Picture now our fair maiden stepping delicately through the doorway, her presence casting ripples through the small congregation gathered within. Heads might turn, some bowing low in respect, others glancing through the corner of their eyes with a flicker of skepticism. It's an atmosphere charged with silent communication, where every gesture tells a story of its own. This setting draws a parallel to the digital spaces we navigate today, where likes, comments, and hearts flutter like wings, each one a silent conversation in the grand tapestry of human connection. Historians still muse over whether these narratives of beauty served as mirrors reflecting society's fears and fascinations, juxtaposed against the backdrop of faith and the supernatural. Consider this quirky tidbit. In some parts of the medieval world, certain colors were believed to enhance or ward off peculiar effects that beauty might invoke. Red, for example, was both a symbol of passion and a warning against the fiery gaze of too much attention, akin to choosing the right filter to temper or highlight the emotional tone of a social media post. Here, in this cozy chapel, as hymns rise softly to the rafters and the glow of candlelight dances across ancient stone, The stories woven into those very walls speak of beauty's timeless complexities. The tales are not just about appearances, but carry deeper threads of power, influence, and the ceaseless dance of human interaction. As you sit on a wooden pew, the past gently folds around you, a soft cloak spun from the whispers of generations gone by, much like wrapping up in your favorite sweater on a chilly night. This is a history that enfolds you in its tender warmth, letting each layer of understanding press gently upon your mind as you dwell in the space between waking and dreaming. Soon, shadows lengthen as the night draws you further into restful slumber. Think of this as the time when tales turn into lullabies, rocking you gently with their timeless cadence. Allow yourself to sink deeper, letting the soothing murmurings of history tug softly at your consciousness, guiding you to a place where dreams weave seamlessly with reality. As you drift into the depths of peaceful sleep, may these stories linger softly, like the gentle caress of dawn on the horizon, warming your soul and reminding you of the beauty that lies in each story told, in each life lived, both past and present. Rest well, dear dreamer, until the soft chorus of history calls to you once more in the gentle embrace of night. In the quiet depths of night, where time seems to stretch luxuriously like a cat basking in a patch of sunlight, we dwell on these tales nestled in the folds of history. The medieval village, its whispers, eternal yet subtle, offers a comforting backdrop to this gentle exploration, a tapestry of stories threaded with beauty, caution, and enchantment. Imagine walking along a winding path, the moonlight casting its silvery glow at your feet, illuminating the way like a gentle guide. The air is crisp, carrying with it the scents of earth, wood smoke, and the faintest hints of blooming night flowers. It's a path that seems to lead both forward and backward in time, inviting contemplation of all who have wandered its course, their footsteps leaving an indelible mark on memory. Tonight, we delve deeper into the life of our fair lady, whose beauty both blesses and burdens her. Hers is a tale of paradox, a life where admiration dances perilously close to envy, and where the gaze of others can feel like a gentle caress or an unyielding weight. Imagine moving through a world meticulously scrutinized, each expression potentially sculpting not just your own narrative, but the legends of a village dreaming within moonlit confines. Much like how carefully curated social media profiles today can blur the lines between adoration and privacy, her life is a delicate balance between the visible and the internal, between showing the world her grace while guarding her heart's quiet sanctuaries. Historians still ponder the intricate dynamics that shape such tales, questioning whether these were reflections of actual societal constructs or the blossoming of folklore into extravagant myths. Consider this quirky aspect. Some believed that beauty could be a conduit to communicating with the divine or foretelling the unknowable future. It's a whimsical notion, like believing in the predictive power of celebrity tweets or the magical properties of viral videos to encapsulate society's untold depths. Throughout this dreamlike village, the passing whispers carry elements of truth and embellishment alike, grains of history passed from one individual to another, like petals on a breeze. Every tale, itself a living entity, blooms across the starlit night, tracing an arc that mirrors humanity's complex dance with beauty and perception. As the night deepens, you find your thoughts unraveling gently, inviting you to rest in history's comforting embrace. Here, in the tranquil folds of time, let the echoes of these stories be the boughs that cradle you, where dreams cascade like autumn leaves, wrapping you in the soft rustle of ages past. In the tender space between moonlight and shadow, where the day's cares dissolve into the soothing balm of night, let yourself drift into slumber. May your dreams carry you softly through the corridors of time, where beauty is both mysterious and magnificent, a tranquil reflection upon the tapestry of life. Sleep well, embraced by the whispers of history, until the dawn's gentle light welcomes you anew. As the night extends its velvet cloak further across the landscape, a profound stillness settles over the sleeping village. The murmur of crickets acts as a lullaby, softly punctuating the calm air with a rhythm as ancient as the tales themselves. You find comfort in this nocturnal symphony, where every sound and shadow seems to carry a fragment of history, inviting you to unravel its stories, thread by delicate thread. Let's journey once more through the tales of this medieval village, where beauty's mysterious allure is woven intricately into the fabric of life. The world outside continues its slumber, while your imagination takes a gentle stroll through time. Past stone cottages nestled in the embrace of starlight. Envision, if you will, the intricate dance of a medieval feast, where candlelit tables are laden with a vibrant tapestry of flavors and stories. Here, beneath the flickering glow, our fair lady finds herself seated among villagers whose curiosity dances with admiration, not unlike a leaf caught in a gentle breeze. Amidst the clink of goblets and the harmonious hum of laughter, her presence becomes a painting of ephemeral enchantment. These gatherings are akin to the digital communities of today, where each interaction carries the potential to spark new connections or rekindle ancient rivalries. A reminder of how little the essence of human interaction evolves over time, even while the medium changes. Historians often debate whether such social gatherings served more as conduits for cultivating friendship or magnifying division. The spectrum, as varied as the stories from whence they originated. Consider a curious side note. In some regions, it was believed that one could diminish the enchanting effects of beauty by donning garlands of specific herbs, symbols as ancient as the myths themselves, worn by those wishing to tread more lightly upon the world stage. In modern parlance, it's akin to switching off notifications for peace and privacy, a gentle buffer between oneself and the echo of the world's gaze. The feast's symphony, notes of music, storytelling, and gentle banter carries with it the pulse of history, vibrant and alive. Each tale told is a gift, passed with the warmth of shared company, much like the passing of inherited wisdom and the gentle reassurance of mutual understanding. In this candlelit gathering, stories become shared experiences, etching themselves into the collective memory of those present. As the night deepens, you may feel a gentle drowsiness begin to envelop you like a soft, familiar embrace. Perhaps it's the warmth of the hearth or the soothing cadence of the stories interwoven with nature's night song. Let yourself drift upon this gentle wave, carried by the ebb and flow of tales told under starlit skies. In this tender moment, where dreams and reality waltz gracefully, rest assured that these tales, both ancient and aspiring, continue to cradle you with their timeless grace. As you drift further into the peaceful realms of sleep, may your dreams weave the tapestry of history with threads spun from imagination and the sweet, lulling song of the night. Sleep well, dear dreamer, until the night world calls again to share its soothing secrets, guiding you on another journey of beauty and wonder.